friends. It is a super duper windy day out there. I have a window over here that has, you know, the screen, and then a window, of course, and then I have my blackout shade, but my screen on the outside of my window is just a wobbling. So if you hear that, nobody's trying to break in the house. It's just my screen wobbling because it's not nice and tight. But it is super windy here today. Now, the weather over the weekend, I had a lot of people email me and contact me. There were some horrible tornadoes like in Sulphur and some other places. But we here in the area where I'm at, you know, I think it's southwest of Oklahoma City, Yukon, Mustang area, Tuttle, we didn't get the tornadoes. We got a lot of wind and we got a lot of rain, which my garden is really liking all that rain, but we did not get the tornadoes, which I'm really happy about. I'm not really afraid of them. It's just knowing what to do, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, weather's unpredictable. So you just got to kind of do what you know how to do, I guess. But anywho, it is super windy today. Oh, Rita, I see you're here. I am so happy to see you. Although I can't really see you. I hope you're feeling better. Rita is a big help to me. Like Kim loves Artie. She's a big help to me also. Rita's had to have some surgery and she's doing some healing. We want her to heal and get better. And I'm glad to see you here. Even if you can only stay a few minutes, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so... I have had an interesting week this week. Like I told y'all last week, I'm struggling with my sciatic nerve pain. It has now gone up to my neck, down my back, and yes, I talked to a chiropractor yesterday, and I'm doing some, you know, PT, and I've got a massage chair that I'm using, and some stretches and different things like that. And it's one of these weird things that you feel really good, and then all of a sudden you don't. And then you feel good again, then all of a sudden you don't. And if you've ever had nerve pain, and I have neuropathy in my feet, so I understand nerve pain. But if you ever had sciatica or sciatica, however you want to say that, I never say it right, it is painful. Okay, and so I'm having struggles with it. But I'm doing fine, really. I mean, you know, it's just when I want to try to walk. Oh, well. But anyhow, I was walking, so I make a big pot of coffee in the mornings, and I usually have one, sometimes 2.5 cups. And then I don't have any more until the afternoon. I usually get everything done, cleaning, laundry, all that stuff, and my video editing and all that stuff done in the morning if possible. Well, it was like, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I go over to get a cup of coffee. Of course, it's cold, so I just stick it in the microwave, okay? So I fill it up about halfway. I want to have enough room for creamer, right? So I stick it in the microwave, and then I go to get it out, and I do the silliest thing. I pick it up like this, okay? And I'm like, oh, man, that's hot. So I set it down, and my husband's like, babe, that's what the handle's for? Oh, yeah, that's what the handle's for. So let's clinkety clink clink and not burn our hands and use our handles. Is that the craziest thing? Okay. The next day, I decided I was going to go run up to Aldi. It's just like maybe 3 miles from my house. And because I pretty much just eat mostly fruits and vegetables and lean meats. And so and they have the best fruits and vegetables. I don't care where you go. Aldi has the best fruits and vegetables. Well, I pick up this container of blueberries, okay? And I stick it in my buggy, and then I'm getting some different salads and lettuces, and they have really good zucchini right now. Okay, so, I mean, you know, my zucchinis aren't big enough to eat yet because they're just flowers, you know. So I'm walking along, and I'm like, what did I just step on? And I look back, and I left a trail of blueberries. I mean, like a breadcrumb trail. There were just blueberries everywhere. I was like, I am so sorry. And the guy comes out and he goes, I think your blueberries spilled. He was so nice. I'm like, okay. So I give him like this empty container, and he's sweeping them all and putting them in the container to throw them in the trash. I'm like, okay, what else can happen, right? So I'm doing pretty good. Okay. So my husband gets up to go to work this morning. He gets up at 4 to get ready to go to work. And he comes around, because I usually have to take one of my pills, so I have to take it on an empty stomach. And he comes around to tell me, oh, Sarah, don't forget to take your pill. He goes, hey, I got some good news. I'm like, what? It's 4 o'clock in the morning, dude. You know? He goes, remember that commercial where the girl's snoring and the husband lifts the top of the bed and her snoring stops? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I did that last night. It actually worked. I got you to stop snoring. I'm like, how romantic. I do snore. But usually it's only when I'm having a sinus issue, okay? And he was so excited. We got, with our income tax, of course, I always have to pay income tax every year because I just don't make enough money, and income tax kills small businesses. But we got enough from what he made, you know, that we were able to buy a new bed. And I call it a bendy bed. It's like a Serta bed. The top comes up and the bottom comes up, and you can kind of, and it's so nice and comfortable. So I never noticed that he lifted it up. I just kept right on sleeping, I guess. He's like, it really worked. I got you to stop snoring. All right, let's get serious. Did we clink in? Clink, 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 clink. Yes, we did. It's probably because I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm a little bit wound up. All right, I've got a whole table full of things to talk about today. We're going to have us a busy day. Like I always say, buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's really not. We're just going to have lots of fun. All right, before we get any farther, I do want to do a shout out. This person is a new crocheter, not new crocheter, but a new YouTuber. And it was kind of interesting. I saw another, I think it was Creative Grandma, talking about this gentleman and how impressed she was with his sweaters. And which, if y'all don't watch Creative Grandma, she's really cool. I really love her. But anyway, she was talking about this gentleman. And I thought, well, I'm going to go check it out. And then I got a email from my premier associate, not associate, I don't know what you call that. The person who emails me lets me know what's going on. Which, by the way, if you want to do any affiliate program, go with Premier because they have such great communication. Anyway, she said she was just telling me how they were just saying how much they appreciate that I do shout outs for other YouTubers. Have I heard of this person? I'm like, yes, I just found him. Okay, and so he's new. He hasn't even been doing this very long, and he's already got, I think, like 2,000 subscribers. Okay, his name is Fabio. Crochet by Fabio. And he has an introductory video on there and talking about he's Italian, he lives in New York City, and how he started crocheting during COVID, and how one thing he noticed is that there weren't a lot of sweaters out there for men. And that's kind of his genre, although he does all kinds of things. And so really go over there and let him know I sent you, because I think that you really appreciate it. One of the things that I noticed this year is a trend. There are more gentlemen and, men, boys, and boys, not men, boys, boys and men, crocheting, but also a lot more crochet patterns out there for the guys. And one of the things that he does talk about is how a lot of them sweaters are crocheted and even knit with yarns that are just too thick, and that he uses the 3-weight or the DK weight, and he really likes them a lot better. And I think that's true. I agree with that. Okay, so yeah, it's Crochet by Fabio, Fabio. Go on over there and check it out. I just really appreciated it. Okay, all right, now the yarn of the week I do not have because it hasn't got here yet. But I want we're going to go and look at it on my iPad like I like to do. And this is just a quick look at, because they've come out with some new colors. I'm going to show you this first. This is the Parfait, and you can't see it real well. I'm going to show you on my other camera. All right. What they did is they came out with some new colors. That's the wrong one. There we go. It's the Parfait, Chunky Parfait Limited Edition. And it's these, it wants to go back and forth. These are colors that is a limited edition. And look at that yellow and that bright green. They're like bright colors. I call it crayon box colors. Okay. And let me see. Did I write down the price on here? I did not. Okay, it's new colors, bulky super, super bulky number 6. It keeps wanting to go back and forth. That's so funny. Well, these have new colors as well. There's 16 new colors of the Premier Basics as well. But I just wanted to tell you about this one because it's a limited edition Premier Parfait Chunky. And you have to get them before they're gone. And they're like, I call them crayon box colors because they're just like basic colors. So I just wanted to let you know about those. Okay, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. But anyway, the Premier Basics and the Premier Chunky both have a lot of new colors. And it's real, they're in my cart. I haven't ordered them yet because what I do is I have a budget for each month and I need to make sure that I stay within that budget. Although, according to my tax person, I need to order more yarn, which is my husband, so that I have more write-offs, so that I don't have to pay as much in taxes for my little bitty business. I tell you what, these little businesses struggle because we have to pay so many taxes. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about that yarn. And if you want to go and look at it, I have my Premier Yarn affiliate link underneath this video, and it's under tons of my videos. All of my live videos have that link under there that were done in like the last year. You can go and see the new colors. They're so beautiful. And I really like that, especially with the basics. That's a wonderful medium weight number 4 yarn. Lots of colors. I think they total 89 colors. And then this new one, the Premier limited edition, see how you say that exactly, Premier Parfait Chunky limited edition colors. Those are gorgeous colors. And they're on sale right now. And I didn't write the price down. I can't believe I didn't do that. I probably should have clicked on that when I was on there. But yeah, go hit that Premier link underneath this video when this is all done. Don't do it now because I don't want you to leave. But anyhow, you can check it out. I think you're really going to love them all. So, one thing to remember is if it's the first time that you've used my affiliate link to order, you're going to get 10% off. So if you've never ordered from Premier through my affiliate link and you want to try some of these yarns, you'll get 10% off. And also, if you order $75 worth, you get free shipping. That's why I do a budget and I try to order once so that I can get the free shipping. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is, let me see. I got that. Okay. I want to talk about this yarn. Okay, because I did do a video with it yesterday, so I'm going to go back over here. This is the Red Heart Granny Square All-in-One. And I did a project. I'll show you the project in just a minute. But I wanted to tell you, I paid $9.99 a piece for these skeins. Okay, each skein, I forgot they have it really teeny tiny, and I couldn't read it the other day. Where did they put that? Let me see if I wrote it on here. I did not. Okay. I have old eyes and I cannot see where the amount is. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me show you this where it is. It's right there. Real teeny tiny. Each skein has 8.8 ounces, which is 417 yards. $9.99 a skein. If you get it from Red Heart, and I bought it at Joann's, but they're on sale now. And one thing that I saw is that my Walmart has a whole end cap of it. Okay, and at Walmart they were $7.48, and at Joann's they're on sale for $7.59 if you want to get the Red Heart skein. Okay, so this color that we used for the project is called Soft White Pink Punch. And I know this looks like red, but it's actually a bright pink. And I used 2 skeins to make the squares and also the rest of the bag. And I'm going to show you the bag in just a second. But what I wanted to tell you is that in the video that I did, I give you a few hints and information on how to get the squares to turn out. And it really is just a matter of tension. Okay? Now the yarn calls for a 5.5 millimeter, which is an I hook. I tend to crochet loosely, so I went down to an H hook, which is a 5 millimeter. And almost every one of mine came out perfectly once I adjusted my tension a little bit. So what you're going to need to do with this yarn, I'm telling you this because you can get them cheaper at Walmart or at Joann's, and you'll be able to try them out without spending a whole bunch of money. But one thing to remember is if you decide you don't want to make squares with them, it's a beautiful variegated. You could do lots of different things with it. Okay? But when I went down to the 5 millimeter and kept my tension the same, they almost always worked out. Every now and then when I went to join, I was going to show you. I had one of them that had a really weird join. I can't remember that I saved. See right here, there's a little bit of blue popping through, and right here, where the two dyes meet, there's like, because this is a green and a pink, you can see it looks kind of blue there. Where they meet, there's this tiny little spot. And so that's going to show some when it's changing colors. This one's changing to the purple. And so what I would do in order to keep from getting frustrated is if I had too much there, I would loosen up this last cluster until it fit just right when I did my last 2 chain 2s. If I didn't have enough, I would tighten it up so that I would have enough. Okay, so I would have to adjust my tension just a little bit on that last cluster when I was using the H hook. All right, and I have these 4 left and this from making the bag. Okay, I'm going to move these things forward. I'm going to show you the bag and then I'll show you up front also. But this is the big bag that I made. It takes 18 squares to make the bag and the handle. All right, let me show you. It's a big messenger style bag with a drawstring to keep your things inside. See? And I've got yarn inside because I'm going to use it as a yarn bag, okay? Now, the other question I got is, do I have to block my squares? And you'll notice I have this one that's on a blocking board. And I find when I'm doing granny squares, if I block them so that they're the right size, always a 6-inch square, then they're easier when it comes time to put them together. But you don't have to block them. And the other thing is, if you want to make this bag, you don't have to use this yarn. You can use any granny square pattern that you want as long as you use 6-inch squares, because it is just 18 6-inch squares. Okay? Now, then the last question I always get when it comes to a bag that is big like this, can you line the bag? And of course, I added the link on that video down underneath, and I also did a tag. I think it's like just right at the beginning. It's like right up at the top corner. There's a little thing you can click, and it will take you to that video where I show you how to easily line a bag. Okay? So, yes, you can line the bag. Yes, you can use any granny square that you want to. And you know what else? Yes, you can make it out of cotton if you want to also. You can use any yarn that you want as long as it's a medium weight number 4. Okay? That's the thing about most of the... Sorry, I got a donut on my back. I mean, literally a big stuffed donut. I'm working with my... trying to have better posture. Anyway, it keeps shifting down. Anyway, that's what I love about a project like this, because you're basically making 18 6-inch granny squares, and I show you, of course, how to put it together with this really neat trim. I love it. It's a real simple trim, and you can keep the top closed by making a nice drawstring, and then you got a flap to go over it so no one can get in your bag. And then you got a nice sturdy handle. All right? And it's very simple. It's a really simple pattern, and the construction is easy. You know, And so it's not hard at all. And also in the video, like I said, I give you some, a few tips on changing crochet hooks, working with your tension, and how not to get frustrated with this yarn. Because the truth of the matter is, once I started going and getting all the squares done, I got into kind of a rhythm of how my tension should be in order to get my squares to work out. Okay? So, if you want to try the Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn, either go to Joann's or your local Walmart and pick some up. And if you decide it's not for you, you don't want to make squares out of it, there's some really nice colors to just make something variegated out of it. I mean, you don't have to do what they tell you to do with it. You can be a rebel. And the truth of the matter is, there are so many times I buy yarn with a project in mind, and I change it like 100 times. Well, not that many, maybe 30. You know, so I don't want you to think, oh, I don't want to use that yarn. Or maybe you just don't like granny squares. There's several of them that are really, really pretty. There's one that has it's like a green and a pink. It's more like a mauvey pink, and that one's real pretty. Some of them, as I was looking at them, I thought, yeah, those colors don't go together. But then I've seen some people use them, and they've got the squares made, and I'm like, yeah, they do go together. You know, they do look nice. So anyway, I don't want you to, there's a lot of negativity about this yarn online. And so I don't want you to not even try it, because I don't think you're getting all the right opinions if you haven't tried it for yourself. Okay? So it's on sale. It's not on sale, but it's cheaper at Walmart. It's only $7.48 for 8.8 ounces. And at Joann's for $9.99. If you go to I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It was $9.99. At Joann's, it is $7.59. I paid $9.99 a piece for them. And that's why I only bought 2 of each. Okay? But, I mean, it's totally up to you, of course. But I just want you to try. I don't want you just to listen to what everybody's trying to tell you. And because they're trying to get clicks. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, they're trying. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. What I want you to do is, if you want to, go to your local Walmart. They have a whole end cap now. Mine does anyway, and a lot of other people are saying that. Grab you a couple of the colors that you love. Try it out. And then if it doesn't work, you can use the yarn for something else. You won't be wasting your money. Okay, so, but like I said, once I switched to the 5mm crochet hook and got into a rhythm of making them, when I went to make more of them, I don't know if it was like muscle memory or what, I didn't really have a whole lot of problem. I might at the end, like I was talking about that last cluster, wherever I put that board, occasionally on that last cluster, wherever I joined, I might have too much yarn, maybe just a smidge, or not enough. And so what I would do is I would just tighten up that cluster before that, just so that it would equal out. You know, but anyway, I talk about all that on the video, and I hope that that will help you. Even if you don't want to make the bag, I go through and I do every row of the granny square. Okay? Now this is my pattern. I call it the Gorgeous Granny Bag because I like things that sound nice, and I want you to remember the name, Gorgeous Granny. And, I mean, I am a granny, right? And I'm gorgeous, so... we know that's not true. Just being funny. I just want you to remember. Anyway, that was the pattern that we did yesterday. It's a little bit longer of a video. It doesn't take that long to show you how to do the square. It's all the putting of the pieces together. And sometimes I'm just showing you and not talking, just so that you can see. And then sometimes I am talking. It's just, I think it might be 40 minutes instead of, I try to keep my videos between like 28 and 32 minutes, but I think this one's closer to 40 minutes. But one of the nice things about YouTube is you can fast forward through the parts you don't need, you know. So anywho, that's our Gorgeous Granny Bag. You can make it with 18 6-inch granny squares of your choosing. And there are a lot of beautiful granny squares out there. You don't have to do this. I only show you the traditional one, which I don't even use that often myself because I love granny squares, and there's like a gazillion of them out there. Okay, you just have to make sure you use a 6-inch. All right, now when I made that bag with 2 skeins, I had enough. I had 4 more of these because I've got left over, and then this ball of yarn, and that's including putting all the squares together in the handle, just so you know what it takes. All right, now the other thing that we did was this right over here. This is called Mary's Mesh. I'm going to scoot over. Mary's Mesh Shawlette. And this is a little button that I made, a little pin that I made with beads. It's super pretty. You can see it if you go look at the video. I'm going to turn it around because I always get questions about how long does it go. And it doesn't go real long because this is a shawlette, not a shawl. And the only difference between a shawl and a shawlette is usually wider and shorter. And because this is for when you're, you can use it at the beach to wrap around your waist. You can use it if you're wearing a tank top or a sundress and you just want a little something extra. It can also be really pretty over an elegant dress. It's just a really nice summer shawl. And originally we used some yarn from Lion brand that was made from the Downton Abbey series, and they don't make that anymore. Okay, I think you can find it at some of the maybe online or like people that are selling it themselves, but it is a DK or a 3-weight yarn. And so what I did is I used a 3-weight cotton that has a sparkle. And I just went with it. It's a striping yarn. It's one of Hobby Lobby Yarn Bees yarn. I can't remember which one it is. But it's really pretty. And the thing is, once you get to about row 5, all it is a repeat row where you increase at the beginning and the end and the point. And it's a great take along. And then you can keep going if you want it bigger and bigger and bigger. Just remember, it's going to be a super wide shawl opposed to a super long shawl. Because that's what it's made, is to be wider, not longer. But you can keep making it until it's as big as you want. And then just add this. It's an open shell stitch. And I thought it went really well with the mesh because of it being open. Okay. Now, it is different from the original. It was originally called Lady Mary's Triangle Shawl. And it's different from that one in that the trim is different and the yarn is different. But the construction of it is similar. It is a mesh shawl. And I made this one bigger. Not white, well, more rows, I should say. Okay, and so we just called it Mary's Mesh Shawlette. And anytime you see the word shawlette, et at the end of anything just means it's smaller. Like kitchenette is a small kitchen, Baguette is a small piece of bread, a small loaf actually, so you'll see ponchette, shawlette, scarfette, they're all just, it just means it's smaller. Okay, and again, it is one of my patterns that I have written, and you'll find that on my YouTube channel. Now, also, the patterns that I show you on our live video today, I put those links underneath the video also, and it's really important that you remember that every single video has a description box or what I call notes underneath it. And you can find all the links, you can find information, anything that I talk about, you can find that information and how to find it underneath every single video. A lot of times it'll say show more, or it'll just say more, or there'll be a black arrow or a red arrow, depending on if you're using, like, say, I use my iPad for most things when I'm not at my computer. And a lot of times when I'm on my iPad, I'll click it, but it'll come up on the side. But on YouTube itself, it's underneath. So it's just kind of, it depends on what phone you have, or what tablet you're using, or what keyboard, what tablet, or like whether you're using an iPad or a phone or whatever, what device is what I'm thinking of. How you can find that. But every video, not just mine, everybody's, has a description box. Okay? All right, now the other thing that we did last week is I did a quick walk through my garden. I should do another one today because it's like grown twice as big. But anyway, I wanted it to be just an intro. A lot of people said they had interest in seeing what I'm doing with my garden. And we did a walk through the 4 boxes, the roses in the front yard, you know, all those little things. I wanted to show you the girls' fairy garden that they have put together, and they've added to it since then, you know. And one of the things that this wind did, I had over 100 peaches on each of my trees. And one of the things that this big wind that we had is it knocked down about half of them. I still have, you know, a lot of peaches, but I mean, and the truth is they're new peach trees. This is just their we planted them last year, so they've only been there a year, and this will be their second spring here. And I really wasn't expecting any peaches anyway, and we had just a mega ton of blooms, and there were just bees just covering them. And my apple tree's the same way. But we do have a lot of little tiny baby apples, and not that little, but like that, and some little peaches and stuff. So the wind did knock a lot of them down, but I just picked them up and put them in the composter, you know, so it's okay. You know, and any peaches or apples that we get, it'd just be a blessing because we weren't expecting any. But if you want to know what we're doing in the garden, you can watch that walkthrough. It's not very long at all. And I instead of talking through the whole thing, I just let you look. I put some quiet music, and then I typed in some words to tell you what's going on in all the parts. I did talk at the beginning and end, I believe. I can't even remember. Yeah, I think I did. So anyway, and then what we'll do, I thought maybe like once a month or once every couple of weeks, I'll do an update. And I had a lot of people ask me about my composting because a lot of people think it's really disgusting. And so I think this next time, the next time we do the garden, I'm going to explain to you how I do it neatly, because what I do is not messy at all. And when it comes to keeping it clean and tidy, it's not hard at all. And it works so good. The composting we did last year and through the winter is what I put into my boxes along with the dirt and mix it in for good new nutrients. But it's not hard at all. And so, you know, and you don't have to have a big garden to do any composting. You don't even have to, I did composting in Colorado when all I was doing was growing things in pots around that bottom deck. And if you want to know what I did there, I have a playlist called My Container Garden, and I put what we did last week in there. And you can go through, and there's some crochet patterns in there, also things that I did to make for the garden. So go ahead and check that playlist, and you can see some of the things that I did. So, and one of my goals there was to learn to compost and not just make a big mess, but to learn to do it in such a way that it was easy and easy to keep clean and keep track of. And I'm just super happy with the way that it's turned out, and I'm doing the same thing here. And although I did get a new compost container for my kitchen, because I don't want, a lot of people have like a big coffee can or something and it gets smelly, and I'm not using that. I got a compost container from Aldi, and it comes with these charcoal filters that you put in the lid, and it has vent holes. And then it also comes with biodegradable bags. And all you do is you put those bags in this composter. You put all your veggies and fruits and you know, cut-offs from your veggies, and also eggshells. No meats, no cheeses, no milks. Just veggies and eggshells, coffee grounds. And the thing is, you don't even have to take the paper off your coffee grounds because the paper is biodegradable. Anyway, you just put it in there, put the lid on, and then every week or so after it's filled, you just open it up, take that compost bag out, and you put that bag right in your composter. But I'll explain all of that, I think, on the next garden video, because I paid, I want to say, $14 for this, and it's a ceramic composter on my counter, and it has some pretty leaves on it, and it's pretty. And I have it sitting right next to my sink, because I have a flat counter with the sink. And my daughter even said, wow, it doesn't even stink in here. And she's always honest, okay? That's my oldest child, my daughter. She's always honest with me. She's got a teenage son. She knows stink. So anyway, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Cars? But anyway, we've got a good number in here today. My count says 96. That's awesome. And I really just want to end with this. And don't forget, next Monday, before I go to this thing, next Monday, of course, is the first Monday in April, which means we will have our April Granny Square of the month. And what is not April's? All right, take two on this. May Granny Square of the month, and May's birthstone is emerald. That's my sister's birthday was the 2nd. My sister that passed away a few years ago. My mom's birthday was 27th of April, and my sister's birthday was the 2nd. And we used to go to this place in Catoosa, Oklahoma called Molly's Landing every year for their birthday, and we would do it together. Of course, they're both passed away. They're in heaven. And I told my other sister, Gina, I said, we ought to go to Molly's Landing to celebrate their birthday. And then I looked it up, and Molly's Landing burnt down. And it was just the neatest place. It was just called Molly's Landing out in Catoosa, Oklahoma. And it was the neatest place. They had really good steak and all kinds of things. And they had a little area you could shop for nostalgia type things. And anyhow, I was sad to hear that it burnt down. So, but anyway, Monday, back to that, emerald, my sister's birthstone. I have, my sister Gina gave me my sister Lisa's set that is the emerald birthstone. It's a necklace and earrings and a bracelet, a tennis bracelet that's just beautiful. And every year, the first Sunday of May, I always wear it to church. It's just what I do because I miss my sister. She was the sweetest person in the world, and her whole life she just lived for other people. She had a lot of health issues, though, but I'm glad she's out of pain now. But anyway, I didn't mean for this to get nostalgia. So we've got our square of the month coming, and then I'm trying to think. There was something else. Well, I didn't write it down, but the last thing I want to say is thank you. I thoroughly love our time together. I'm going to make our heart. I can't do it. There we go. And I so much appreciate all of you who come each week. And those of you that maybe, brain fart, you're right. Heidi said I had a brain fart. That's true. It happens when you get to be 61 like me. But I just want to tell you all how much I appreciate you watching my videos, whether you watch them live or later on when you get the chance. I appreciate that. And be sure and know that you are appreciated and that you can ask questions anytime. If there's something you're looking for, if there's a question about a stitch or, just a question that maybe you need answered. I mean, don't ask me life questions because I'm still working on life. But anyway, I just want you to know that you have the freedom to do that. And I just so much appreciate taking this time out of your day. Excuse me. Taking your time out of your day, because this is our time, to set the world aside and talk about yarn and yarny fun. Okay, don't forget to head over to Crochet by Fabio and subscribe and check out his YouTube channel. All right, so I'll see you next time.